there's a lot happening. Each law is a little bit different, but let's talk about sort of the big picture here. So checking the box versus pursuing your passion. Let's sort of break down each of these. So I'm going to give my definition of checking the box, then you give yours, and then I'll give my definition of pursuing your passion, and then we can sort of tie it all together. So to me, checking the box sort of means not fully thinking about what is the most sustainable option, not fully coming to your own conclusions about what is best for the planet, but rather just doing what the law says, just like you would follow any other law. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. I think these laws have a certain amount of an ability to move things in a direction faster. But that to me is what checking the box is. Would you agree, or would you add anything to that definition?
No, I mean, I would definitely agree with your definition of, what checking the box is. Additionally, these specific regulations of, only requiring, say, 25% recycled content. I see that's a kind of a common number out there in the world. It's almost giving people an out to still use plastic packaging rather than seeking a better solution outside of plastic. It's only going to continue to grow to higher recycled content percentages until you reach that point where, are we still going to stick with 100% recycled plastic, or are we going to kick that to the curb?
Exactly. And it's sort of like, I don't frown on that 25% because it is progress. And we talk a lot about on the show, progress, not perfection. But that's still living in a model of plastics and recycled plastics. And is that really the direction that we want to move in? I'm not even saying yes or no. I remember when I first started in really my ventures into sustainability was around when we started Contempo Specialty Packaging. So for those of you who don't know the story, Contempo is my family business in the fashion and jewelry business for over 40 years. And we created the cannabis business in 2017 to create beautiful packaging for the cannabis industry. And we created child-resistant packaging, and we figured out how to do that, and we developed a new product line and all that stuff. So that's our history. Right when we started Contempo Specialty Packaging, one of the first conversations I had with someone in the industry, he said, sustainability is where it's at. That's the future. And I always remember this conversation with this gentleman. And long story short, I started bringing in consultants and experts in sustainability to teach what is the most sustainable package. And they all would say things like, it's all about recycled content. And I would say, like, recycled content? Yeah, it's all about recycling. It's actually the most sustainable option is recycling. So I said, this doesn't sound right to me. But I've grown to have more of this opinion that there's many paths to sustainability. And until we have a viable solution to single-use plastics, the recycled content model, I think, has merit. If you don't use recycled content, then all of recycling is a big charade, right? The whole idea of throwing things in the blue bin, if there's nothing to then turn those into new products, i.e. using recycled content, then literally that's a complete charade. So I guess the industry is kind of in this point where we're trying to pick the right path. And to me, I'm not necessarily saying, I try not to shoot down any path. I try to see the good in the path. But that's very much this idea of checking the box. If some regulator, to the best of their ability, decides that that is the path, you must do blank, then you're sort of taking the ability for each person to pursue their passion, which is the second part of it, and really think about what is sustainable. And they might sort of just shut their mind off and say, you know what, I have to do this because I have to do this, and here we go, I've checked the box, as opposed to really thinking about these problems and challenges around climate and environment and potentially turning that into a business opportunity, which is something we talk about. If you really do a great job of this, then it can actually grow your business. So